Ever since I started an automotive YouTube channel, I pretty much get hit up by one of these rear view mirror dash cam companies at least once a month, and for the most part, I just ignore it. But I started thinking about how convenient one of these things might be for a car like this that I consider basically a street legal race car. So finally, I said yes to one of these companies, and today we're gonna look at some of the odd inconveniences this car has and how this rear view mirror thing is gonna solve it. I'm really excited to get this on the car. Thanks Pelsi for sending this out to me. It's one of the best dash cameras on the market right now with tons of features. The front-facing camera is a 4K Sony sensor and the rear is a 2.5K, so tons of resolution there. It's got a bunch of other features like GPS speed and direction, and also an AI night mode that I'm really excited to check out. But there's tons of other stuff, so I'm gonna have to read the owner's manual a little bit and get caught up on everything. This is my 1995 240SX, and I've been modifying it for about 15 years, and at this point, it's pretty much a turnkey drift car. I refer to it as a street legal race car because it still has functioning headlights, taillights, and turn signals, but it's got a welded 6-point roll cage, and that's where we're gonna start. This is the factory rear view mirror that came with my car, and for the most part, it does its job, sort of. Problem is when you start adding things like a roll cage and a big wing on the trunk, it kind of blocks your vision. So how is this gonna fix that? Well, let's install it and find out. Well, it actually fits pretty good. They've designed these mirrors to fit on almost any car, so what they've done is put a little hook here on top and bottom. You take a rubber band and put that around the hook. That holds it to your mirror. Pretty easy install so far. If you peel off this protective coating, you'll see that the mirror has a reflective surface just like the factory one, so you can use it turned off as you would with the standard mirror. The kit comes with one of these cigarette lighter plug-in things that converts it to a USB-C power, which pretty much every car has except for mine because I took it out. Luckily, my car has a USB-C plug that I installed, so I'll use that for now. In the future, what I'll do is use a little converter box that converts the 12-volt power source from the fuse box to the 5-volt USB-C, and I'll power the mirror that way and have all the wires nice and tucked away so you won't see any of that.
Please format the card.
All right, I did already put the included memory card in here, so let's format that. Well, there you go. So right now I'm looking at a front-facing image of my car, basically, looking out the front window. And it's got some cool things over here. It's got the time, the date, and it looks like it has a mile-per-hour reading, so I think we're gonna have to plug the GPS in to get that working. But for now, let's check out the rear view camera. This is the rear view camera. It's 2.5K, which means it records in a resolution that's 2,500 pixels wide. You just plug this into the mirror and run the cable down to the back of the car. It's got a little sticky tape to stick it on the bumper and some included screws. You can kind of think outside the box with this thing though. It doesn't have to be a rear view camera. You could kind of stick this thing anywhere. You could stick it on the front of the car down by the bumper to see if you're gonna bottom out on something. You could put it like in the wheel well and watch your suspension moving. You could even mount it inside the car and film yourself drifting if you wanted to. So it is a rear view camera, but there's more than one option out there. Pretty simple to install all this wiring. Like I said, you just plug it into the rear view mirror. This red wire will connect to the reverse lights, so when you put your car in reverse, whichever setting the rear view mirror is in, it'll automatically go to the rear view camera and also turn on the parking assist. You don't have to use this, but it helps. The mirror gives you a couple options for parking guides, which I'm not sure how much I'll use, but it actually might come in handy when I'm backing the car up onto the lift. This 4-post lift can be pretty challenging to get it up on here straight, so kind of looking forward to seeing if that works, but let's get it outside so I can dial it in, and we'll also plug in the GPS. I've got the GPS module here, another simple install. All you do is plug this thing into the top of the mirror, and I'm glad I read the instructions because I almost put it in upside down. I was gonna stick it to the window like this. I figured it's facing towards the sky, but you actually want this GPS logo facing upwards. So I'm gonna plug it in, run it down the A-pillar, and kind of just stick it to the corner of the dash. One thing I just noticed is if I go into the menu here, I can see the GPS information, which is actually telling me I'm connected to over 20 satellites, and it's showing my latitude and longitude. So I think it's working. Let's take this for a drive. So here on the rear view mirror, you can select whether you want the rear camera, you can swipe to the front camera, and have a split screen, which is really cool. You can even decide which side the split screen goes on. I think for now, let's see, I'm gonna dial in this front camera, move the camera around. It's kind of fun. All right, looks like it's working great. This is really exciting to me because a younger enthusiast version of myself had put a JDM cluster in this car, so everything's in kilometers, which is fine. For the most part, I can kind of figure that out in my head, but you never exactly know, exactly what speed you're going. So this is really cool.
Video logged.
All right, let's see how good this parking thing works. Looks like I am very close to my E30. So the guide is showing me that I'm in the green right now, and I think it's a pretty good distance. I would say that's relatively green. If I got any closer, it would be in the yellow, and then if I got really close, it'd be red. I think that makes sense. I actually like this squeezed down mode that I've found. Kind of makes more sense to me, and you can see a lot around you, so that's actually pretty cool. Let's do a test now that I've been curious about, and that's backing the car onto my lift. Usually I have to do a combination of opening the door and looking where I'm at, obviously using the side mirrors. I don't usually use the rear view mirror at all, so let's see if this thing helps even a tiny bit. Oh yeah, I'm hitting the wheel on the post right there. All right, so I'm gonna say maybe it's not the best thing ever for that. It probably helped a little bit as I was coming up the driveway. I was able to square off the car with the lift a little bit better, but the tried and true method of just opening the door and looking down to physically see how close the tire is to this little chunk here that's sticking out from the lift, probably the best way still. Let's check out this colored night vision I've been excited to try out. It gets pretty dark by my house, so let's see. So that's with the high beams on. It looks like the front camera is actually pretty bright. Wow. That's actually surprising. It's really dark out here. Let's see what happens if I turn my headlights off. Oh, that's a little scary. Wow, it's black out here. I can't see anything. All right, so there's no headlights, just the running lights on. Okay, this thing can see almost better than I can. So that pretty much covers all the basic things that this rear view mirror camera does, and it's pretty easy to install. And there's even more features that I'm reading about inside the user manual, like pre-collision warning and blind spot detection. Blind spot detection might actually be pretty cool in this car. It also can sense when there's hard braking or a strong G-force, and it automatically marks those clips for you so they're easier to find later. So of course this device isn't perfect. There were a couple little things that I noticed as I installed and use it. First of all, it's pretty giant and clunky. You can't really get around the fact that you have to clip it to a pre-existing mirror. Also, all the wires coming out of the top of this are hitting this plastic piece above the rear view mirror, which not all cars have. This is just a 240 thing. Haven't really figured out how to fix that yet, but it kind of makes it hard to put the mirror in the right spot. Also, the bracket back here for the rear view camera was a little bit weak. I didn't want to over tighten the screws and blow the threads out. So I got it as tight as I could get it, and then I put some double stick tape between the bracket and the camera to keep it from accidentally tilting down, because I noticed as I was driving it kept moving around. I just thought it would be cool to make a video about something that you probably wouldn't normally see in a drift car, because I was genuinely curious to see what these things were all about, and I think it's got some features that are genuinely useful. So thanks to Pelsi for sending this out to me. Hopefully they'll send me some kind of discount code or something I can put in the description, but I know I'll definitely be pulling some footage off of this thing next time I go drifting. It's a pretty cool device.